Hi guys, it's Diane with Southern City Gurl. How are you guys doing today? We adjust here a little bit. Well, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a meatloaf. And I haven't made a meatloaf for quite a while, but we're going to make it today. So, here is what we need. In here I have 2 pounds of hamburger meat. I'm going to add 2 eggs. Let me get something. And I'm going to add 1 can of Rotel Tomatoes, and I think this is with green chili. But before I add that, I'm going to take my little tiny food processor, my meat grinder or vegetable grinder. I use this thing for everything. My daughter-in-law gave it to me years ago. I think it was about 15 years ago or maybe 13 years ago when they first got married. It's real tiny, it's little, but it still works fabulous, you guys. So I'm going to pour this in here because I don't want, let's show you here. I don't want these, I don't want these big chunks like that in there. See? I don't want these in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in my little food processor, right here, and I'm going to grind them up. Okay, now you can see the consistency that it is. It's not real chunky like it was. Okay? See? That's what I want to see, like that. If you like them chunkier like that, then just, go ahead and do what you want to do. Go ahead and put that in there. But I'm putting this whole thing in here like this. One of the reasons I like to use the Rotel tomatoes is because it has the green chilies in it, and it kind of just gives it just a little bit of a kick in it. So it's pretty nice. And this is a 10-ounce can, guys. Okay? And I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of Hunt's tomato sauce. 3 tablespoons. And I'm going to add 2 green onions right here. I'm going to chop them up, cut them in half like that, because they'll be a lot easier to chop. Okay? And I'm just going to chop them up. And I'll show you when I get done with it because you can't see me very good. Like I said, some of you who don't know, I live in a fifth wheel, and it's very hard for me to get the whole picture in, and until I can figure out what to do, because I'm still learning. This is how we're going to do it. But you're going to get the gist of it. Just listen to the ingredients that I have. Okay, so I kind of cut them up like this, see? Like this. And I put those in. Now that was 2 green onions. I am going to add some white onions, but my white onions, because I really don't want to bite into the white onion itself, I'm going to also put that in my food processor. And so I'm just going to cut it up in chunks. And I have a little one like this. I had about 1/2 of one left over for breakfast. So we're going to cut and use about half of this one. Cut the peeling off. Okay. And we're also going to cut that in just, see, all I did was cut it in chunks right here. Right here, cut it in chunks. And I'm going to put all these in my food processor. And I'm not going to try to get chunky. I'm going to try to get beyond chunky. I don't want it liquid, but I don't want it in big chunks either. We might have to wait for that piece right there. Okay, so we're going to turn this on. Okay, I'm going to take my spoon and I'm going to push it down some. And this might be little, but this is a very powerful little gadget here. I have even taken some chuck steak. It might not have been chuck steak. I'm not sure which kind it was. And I've ground it up for hamburger. It's worked really well. Now remember, I don't want this, you guys can't hear me, I don't want this liquid, but I want it very, very, very fine. Okay, so we're going to add this. To our meatloaf. I'm going to add, there's about 1 small onion. Now if you want your onion chunkier, that's fine. If you want to bite into it. Now sometimes what I do is I will take my onions and I will saute them in bacon grease before I add them to my meatloaf mixture right here. But I didn't do that today for time, just to save time. Now I'm going to take, excuse me, let's see, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of onion powder. Okay. I really like onion powder in my mixes. Excuse me. Okay, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of pepper. Now keep in mind, these Rotel Tomatoes here have the green chili in it. That does have just a little bit of spice to it, so I get something down my throat. Okay, and then I'm going to add, so that was one teaspoon of pepper. And I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Maybe I'm going to add another half. So 1½ teaspoons of salt. If you don't want that much salt in it, don't put it in there. Okay, so far what I have in here, excuse me, I have 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 pounds of ground beef, I have 2 eggs, and I have 1 small onion, chopped up however size you want to chop it up, 2 green onions, I have those chopped up, I have 2 tablespoons of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of pepper, and 1½ teaspoons of salt. Okay, so we got that in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some crushed crackers. You can use anything you want to use. You can use oatmeal. You can take and use bread. If you do use bread, you can soak it in milk, and when you got the bread all soaked together, you can take and squeeze the rest of the milk out, put your bread in here. That's really good in meatloaf. I've done that before too. But today, what I'm using is I'm just going to crush up, I think I'm going to do it over the plate here. Make sure I get them all crumbled up really good. I'm going to crush up some crackers. I remember when Les and I lived in San Luis Obispo. Have you guys ever been down there in California? Beautiful, beautiful place. My brother brought a bunch of people over one day. I can't remember how many they were, And it just happened to be a time that we were kind of low on food, but he put oatmeal in here instead of the crackers. Alright, looks like I might be running out of time. Okay, so I did probably about 8 crackers. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix all this together. And after I get this mixed together, I'm going to put it in my iron skillet. And I'm going to put it in the oven, on my convection oven, for 400. Now remember, I have to cook in a convection oven, you guys. And I'm going to put that in there, and we're going to cook it for an hour to an hour and a half, depending. So I will have to check it after an hour, but before I put it in there, I am going to mix some brown sugar, some mustard, and some ketchup for the top of it. So as soon as we get this mixed together, now you see how we're mixing all that together like that? Okay. Alright, that's good. Now I'm going to bring my iron skillet over here. Take this out. You don't need to grease the bottom of your pan because this hamburger meat has enough grease in it. So, put that there. I'm going to do this. Just pat it around your skillet. Okay. Wash your hands off. And we're going to mix together I've got some brown sugar, so I'm going to mix together 1 cup No, I take that back. How about a half a cup? Let's do a half a cup. We don't want to have too much brown sugar on it. Okay? Now we're going to add I like a lot of ketchup on my meatloaf. I don't know if you guys do or not, but I know Les and Joe doesn't like as much as I do. But I put what I want to put on there, and then they can scrape it off if they don't like it. Most of the time I cook what they want, and sometimes I don't cook what I want, but alright, that's too slow, guys. Take that lid off. Alright. Okay, so here we have a half of a cup of brown sugar, 1 cup, get my spatula out here, 1 cup of ketchup, and I'll show you this as soon as I get it all in here. Okay, and then I'm going to, guys, I usually don't measure all this stuff. I just usually add it in. I'm going to add like 2 big squirts of mustard. Probably maybe 1 large tablespoon. Okay, so I got it in the bowl. So what I'm going to do is mix all this together like this. 1 cup of ketchup, a half of a cup of brown sugar, and about 1 big tablespoon, a heaping tablespoon, or however much mustard you want, but at least 1 tablespoon. Okay, mix all this together. Okay, and then down here, I'm going to put it on top of the meatloaf. I have my convection oven going. You can probably hear it. I am preheating my convection oven to 400. If you're using a conventional oven, you might want to do 350 for an hour to an hour and a half. It depends, like I said, on your stove. Every stove is different. So you'll have to kind of judge by your own stove and kind of check it out. Okay. Just spread all of this around. And I had some chunks of brown sugar in there, so that's what I was doing, was just kind of trying to get the lumps out. Okay, so I've got all of my glaze, which I call it, on top of here. This is going to be good, you guys. I haven't made a homemade meatloaf for a long time. Okay, so here it is. There it is. And it's going to go in the oven. Okay, alright guys, so my meatloaf is in the oven and it's on 400 in my convection oven, and I'm going to start out at 60 minutes and we're going to check it after that. If it's not done, we'll cook it some more. Like I said, you have to test your own oven, you have to test your own timing. Every oven's different, so just keep checking it to see if it's done. But you can do it, and it's going to be a good meatloaf, you guys. It's going to taste good. Make some mashed potatoes to go with it. Lumpy or creamy, whatever you like. Make your favorite vegetable. Make a salad. We're going to have potatoes and some vegetables with it. But guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully we got enough time on my phone that when it's done, I'll show you the results. And then, if not, then you guys enjoy the rest of your day, okay? And I pray that you guys have a good day, and hope you guys watched my Bible study yesterday, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I ask that please like my videos and comment on them and click the notification bell so that you'll know when I upload another video. And guys, always remember who you are. Always be kind and always forgive. And remember, forgiveness will really help bring your joy and your peace back in your life. Guys, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.